Chapter 1: The Power of Small Daily Wins. Introduction: The Illusion of Big Change. When most people think about transforming their lives, they imagine a dramatic moment, a sudden breakthrough, a life-altering decision, or an overnight success. They picture quitting a toxic job on the spot, moving across the country to start fresh, or adopting a radical new lifestyle from one day to the next. These stories of sudden reinvention sound exciting. They're cinematic. They make for good headlines and motivational speeches. But in reality, lasting transformation doesn't happen that way. Quick revolutions may spark enthusiasm, but more often than not, they fade as quickly as they ignite. The new job becomes stressful again. The fresh start loses its shine. The radical new lifestyle proves too demanding to maintain. The truth is simple but often overlooked. Big changes are sustained by small actions repeated daily. Real change doesn't come from the giant leaps. It comes from the quiet, consistent steps you take every day. The small daily wins that accumulate and eventually reshape your life. The seed and the tree, a metaphor for growth. Think of a tree. You don't plant a seed today and expect to enjoy its shade tomorrow. For weeks, perhaps months, there is no visible growth. Beneath the soil, however, something crucial is happening. The roots are spreading, anchoring, and preparing for future growth. Only after patience and consistent nurturing does the seed break through the soil, eventually growing into a strong and resilient tree. Your personal development works the same way. At first, small habits feel insignificant. Reading a single page of a book doesn't seem life-changing. Doing 5 push-ups doesn't make you stronger overnight. Drinking an extra glass of water doesn't instantly transform your health. But these micro-actions are like roots spreading beneath the surface. Invisible at first, but foundational for the transformation that will emerge later. Why small wins matter more than big gestures. Why are small, daily wins more powerful than occasional grand efforts? There are 3 main reasons. Sustainability. Big efforts burn out quickly. Small wins are easier to maintain, and their consistency compounds over time. Identity building. Every time you complete a small win, you reinforce a new identity. When you read 1 page, you see yourself as a reader. When you do a short workout, you begin to identify as someone active. Identity, more than motivation, drives long-term change. Momentum. Small wins generate confidence and forward motion. Progress, no matter how small, feels rewarding. That sense of accomplishment creates a positive feedback loop, encouraging you to keep going. The compounding effect, 1% better every day. One of the most powerful ideas in personal growth is the principle of compounding. The same force that makes investments grow exponentially also applies to your habits. Imagine improving just 1% each day. At first, that's almost invisible. But after a year, those small increments don't add up, they multiply. A tiny daily improvement compounds into nearly 38 times more progress by the end of the year. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. A single day of extraordinary effort won't change your life, but ordinary effort, repeated consistently, will. The trap of radical change. Many people fall into the trap of believing that to change their lives, they must take massive, radical action. They announce big resolutions. I'll go to the gym every single day for 2 hours. Or I'll read a book a week. Or I'll completely stop eating sugar starting tomorrow. The problem with these promises is not the lack of ambition, but the lack of sustainability. Life is unpredictable. Motivation fluctuates. Radical change often sets you up for failure, because when you inevitably stumble, you feel discouraged and quit altogether. Instead, start so small that failure is almost impossible. Commit to tiny, manageable wins. 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 glass of water. These are victories you can secure every day. And once they're established, they can be expanded naturally. Examples of small wins in everyday life. Health and wellness. Drinking 1 extra glass of water each morning. Taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Doing 5 minutes of stretching before bed. Personal growth. Reading 1 page of a book. Writing 1 sentence in a gratitude journal. Listening to 5 minutes of a podcast. Productivity. Writing down the top 3 tasks for the day. Cleaning your desk for 2 minutes. Turning off phone notifications for 10 minutes of focused work. Relationships. Sending a short message of appreciation to a friend. Spending 5 minutes listening actively to someone without interrupting. Saying thank you with genuine intention. None of these take more than a few minutes, but each creates ripples that extend far beyond the action itself. The science of reward and motivation. Why do small wins work so well? It has to do with how the brain responds to achievement. Every time you complete a small goal, your brain releases dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. This chemical signal doesn't just make you feel good. It reinforces a behavior, making it more likely you'll repeat it. That's why celebrating small wins is crucial. When you acknowledge progress, no matter how small, you train your brain to associate the new habit with satisfaction. Over time, this creates a self-sustaining loop. Effort, reward, repetition, identity. How to implement small wins in your life. Choose one area of focus. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one domain: health, learning, productivity, relationships, and commit to one small habit in that area. Start ridiculously small. Shrink the habit until it feels almost laughable. Want to meditate? Start with 1 minute. Want to exercise? Do 1 push-up. The point is to create a version of the habit that you can't reasonably fail to complete. Anchor the habit. Tie the new habit to something you already do daily. For example, after brushing my teeth, I'll stretch for 1 minute. After pouring my morning coffee, I'll write down one thing I'm grateful for. After sitting at my desk, I'll spend 2 minutes organizing my workspace. Track and celebrate. Mark your progress visually: a calendar, a journal, or a simple checklist. Each check mark is a tiny celebration, a reminder that you're showing up for yourself. Focus on consistency, not perfection. You will miss days. That's inevitable. But the golden rule is never miss twice. If you slip, get back on track the next day. Consistency matters far more than flawless execution. Stories of transformation through small wins. The runner who started with 1 block. A man wanted to get in shape, but felt overwhelmed by the thought of running 5 kilometers. So he started by jogging just at the end of his street. That was it. Each week, he added a little more. Within a year, he was running marathons. His transformation didn't start with a marathon. It started with a single block. The writer who wrote 1 sentence a day. An aspiring author was paralyzed by the idea of writing a full book. So she gave herself permission to write only 1 sentence per day. Some days she wrote more, but the minimum was just 1 line. Over time, those sentences piled up, chapters took shape, and eventually, a manuscript was complete. The student who read 1 page a night. A busy student wanted to develop the habit of reading more books, but felt too tired at night. She committed to reading just 1 page before bed. Some nights it was only 1 page, but many nights it turned into 5, then 10, then entire chapters. Over a year, she read more than 10 books, something she never thought possible before. These stories illustrate a timeless truth. The smallest step is often the beginning of the biggest journey. Exercises. Putting small wins into practice. The micro habit audit. Write down 1 area of your life you want to improve. Now, brainstorm the smallest possible action you can take daily in that area. Make it so small that it feels effortless. The 2-minute rule. Commit to doing any new habit for just 2 minutes. If you want to meditate, set a timer for 2 minutes. If you want to exercise, stretch for 2 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum carries you forward. Daily celebration ritual. At the end of each day, write down 1 small win you achieved. It doesn't matter how tiny it seems. Finishing a glass of water, sending an encouraging message, organizing your desk. By recording it, you train your brain to recognize and celebrate progress. Visual tracker. Create a calendar or a habit tracker. Every day you complete your small win, put a mark or sticker on it. Watching the chain grow becomes motivating in itself. You won't want to break it. Closing reflection. Big dreams can feel overwhelming, even paralyzing. But when you focus on small daily wins, those dreams become manageable. Every great achievement in history was built on countless small steps, repeated consistently. The musician who plays a concert practice scales daily. The athlete who wins a championship trained in quiet routine for years. The writer who publishes a masterpiece wrote one page at a time. Small wins are not small at all. They are the foundation of transformation. They are how you prove to yourself, day after day, that change is possible. So start today. Choose one small, almost laughably simple action. Commit to it. Celebrate it. And watch as, over time, these tiny victories accumulate into something extraordinary. Because the truth is this: you don't need to take massive leaps to change your life. You only need to win today, in the smallest way possible. And then repeat. Chapter 2, Master Your Mindset, Reprogramming the Inner Voice. Introduction. The control room of your life. Every action you take, every decision you make, and every goal you pursue begins in one place: your mind. Your mindset is not just a collection of thoughts. It's the operating system of your life, the invisible framework that shapes how you see the world, how you respond to challenges, and how you interpret success and failure. Two people can face the exact same circumstance and have completely different outcomes. One sees obstacles everywhere, gives up, and confirms their own belief of failure. The other sees possibilities, learns from setbacks, and continues forward until progress is made. The difference isn't luck or talent. It's mindset. If Chapter 1 was about what you do, small daily wins, this chapter is about how you think while doing it. Because your habits can only take root in soil that is fertile, and that soil is your mindset, the voice in your head. We all carry a constant inner narrator, a voice that comments on our actions, criticizes our mistakes, or encourages us to try again. Sometimes that voice is supportive. You've got this. Keep going. You're learning. But more often it's harsh. You'll never succeed. You're not good enough. Why bother? This inner dialogue, known as self-talk, is powerful. Over time, it becomes a lens through which we see ourselves in the world. And here's the truth. Your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it. If your self-talk is filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, your reality will mirror that. But if you choose self-talk rooted in growth and possibility, you begin to act in alignment with it. Limiting beliefs, the invisible prison. A limiting belief is a thought you've accepted as truth, even though it's not. It's a silent program running in the background of your life, shaping your behavior without you realizing it. Common limiting beliefs include: I'm not smart enough. I always fail. People like me can't succeed. It's too late to change. The danger of limiting beliefs is not that they're true, but that you act as if they are. If you believe you're not smart enough, you won't try new challenges. If you believe success is for other people, you won't take risks. In this way, limiting beliefs create a self-fulfilling prophecy. You avoid opportunities, which reinforces a belief which further limits you. Breaking free begins with awareness. Once you name the belief, you strip it of some of its power. Reframing, turning "I can't" into "I'm learning." Changing your mindset does not mean pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing a perspective that empowers you to act, rather than one that paralyzes you. Instead of saying, "I'm terrible at this," try, "I'm learning how to get better." "I always fail." Try, "Every mistake is teaching me something." "I can't do this." Try, "I can't do this yet." That one word, "yet," transforms limitation into potential. It reminds you that abilities are not fixed. You are in motion, not stuck. The growth versus fixed mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck introduced the distinction between two types of mindset. Fixed mindset believes intelligence, talent, and ability are static. People with this mindset avoid challenges because failure feels like a permanent reflection of their worth. Growth mindset believes skills can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. People with this mindset embrace challenges, see failure as feedback, and keep improving. The difference between these two is life-changing. With a fixed mindset, failure ends a journey. With a growth mindset, failure fuels a journey. Adopting a growth mindset means shifting from "I can't" to "I'm not there yet." From "I failed" to "I learned." From "this is who I am" to "this is who I'm becoming." Stories of mindset in action. Thomas Edison. When asked about his thousands of failed experiments before inventing the light bulb, Edison replied, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This is the growth mindset embodied, seeing each setback as a stepping stone. Michael Jordan, often celebrated as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Jordan was once cut from his high school team. Instead of internalizing rejection as proof he wasn't good enough, he used it as fuel. His career became a testament to resilience and mindset. J.K. Rowling. Before the Harry Potter series became a global phenomenon, Rowling faced poverty, rejection from multiple publishers, and personal struggles. A fixed mindset would have said, "This is proof I'll never succeed." A growth mindset said, "One more try." That persistence changed her life, and millions of others. The power of visualization. Your brain has difficulty distinguishing between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. That's why athletes visualize their routines before competing. By imagining yourself succeeding, your brain rehearses success, building confidence and creating mental blueprint for action. Visualization is not daydreaming. It's a deliberate practice. Close your eyes. Picture yourself achieving the goal step by step. Feel the emotions. Engage all senses. This primes your brain to recognize opportunities and builds belief in your ability. Reprogramming the inner voice. Practical techniques. Awareness journal. Spend 1 week noticing your self-talk. Write down the negative phrases you catch yourself thinking. Awareness is the first step to change. Question the belief. When you catch a limiting belief, ask, is this fact or just interpretation? What evidence supports it? What evidence disproves it? You'll often find the belief collapses under scrutiny. Replace with empowering statements. For every negative phrase, write a positive, realistic alternative. Example, negative, I'm bad with money. Replacement, I'm learning to manage money better every day. Daily affirmations. Repeat empowering phrases each morning. Examples, I am capable of learning new skills. I grow stronger with every challenge. My mistakes are opportunities for growth. Anchor new beliefs to action. Reinforce affirmations by pairing them with action. If you affirm I am healthy, back it with a glass of water or a short walk. Action strengthens belief. The influence of environment on mindset. Your thoughts don't exist in isolation. They are shaped by your environment. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, the conversations you participate in. Spend time with people who uplift and challenge you, not those who constantly complain or criticize. Feed your mind with books, podcasts, and ideas that inspire growth. Limit exposure to negativity, whether in social media, gossip, or toxic environments. Your environment is like the soil in which your thoughts grow. Fertile soil produces healthy plants. Toxic soil stunts growth. Choose your environment wisely. Exercises to reprogram your mindset. Exercise 1. Rewrite the narrative. Take one area of your life where you feel stuck. Write down the negative story you've been telling yourself about it. Then, rewrite it as a growth story. Example, I always fail at relationships. Every relationship has taught me something valuable, and I'm learning how to love better each time. Exercise 2. The yet technique. For every I can't, add the word yet. Say it out loud. Notice how it feels. Example, I can't run a mile yet. That single word transforms impossibility into possibility. Exercise 3. Future self-visualization. Close your eyes and picture yourself 5 years from now, having achieved the growth you desire. What habits do you practice daily? How do you speak to yourself? What challenges have you overcome? Write down what you see, then begin embodying small pieces of that future today. Exercise 4. Gratitude shift. Each night, write down 3 things that went well and why. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's working, training your brain to recognize growth and abundance, common obstacles, and how to overcome them. The inner critic won't shut up. Your inner critic is loud because it's been reinforced for years. Don't expect silence overnight. Instead, interrupt with a firm but compassionate response. Thank you for your input, but I'm choosing a different story. Fear of failure. Reframe failure as information. Every failed attempt narrows the path to success. Keep a failure journal where you write what went wrong, and what you learned. Comparison trap. It's easy to compare yourself to others and feel inadequate. Remember, you're seeing their highlight reel, not their full story. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to someone else today. Impatience. Mindset change takes time. Celebrate progress, however small. Each reframe, each positive thought, is proof of growth. Chapter 3. Build unshakable discipline through habits. Introduction. Why motivation isn't enough. Think back to a time when you felt fired up with motivation. Maybe it was January 1st, and you swore this would be the year you'd finally transform your health. Maybe you saw a powerful video online and decided you'd start a business, write a book, or wake up at 5 a.m. every day. In that moment, the energy was electric. Motivation burned hot, like a firework exploding in the sky. But what happened 2 weeks later? 2 months later? For most people, the fire fizzles. The excitement fades. The commitment dissolves. Motivation is a great spark, but it is not a lasting fuel. If your success depends on always feeling motivated, you're in trouble, because there will be days when you're tired, when you don't feel like showing up, when the thought of effort feels heavier than the reward. This is why the real engine of transformation is not motivation. It's discipline. Discipline is the ability to act regardless of mood. It's the steady heartbeat of progress, the quiet power that separates dreamers from doers. And the most reliable way to build discipline is through habits. Habits turn effort into identity and discipline into autopilot. The myth of willpower. We often admire people we think of as highly disciplined. The athlete who trains every morning at 5 a.m., the writer who produces 1,000 words daily, the entrepreneur who consistently grinds toward their vision. We assume they must possess superhuman willpower. But here's the truth. Most of them don't rely on willpower at all. Willpower is like a muscle. It fatigues quickly. Relying on sheer force of will to change your life is like trying to run a marathon holding your breath. You'll collapse quickly. Disciplined people don't use more willpower. They design their lives so that less willpower is needed. They install habits, structures, and environments that make good behavior automatic. Habits, the architecture of discipline. Habits are behaviors repeated so often they become automatic. You don't think about brushing your teeth. You just do it. You don't analyze whether you should lock your door when leaving home. You simply do. When a habit is installed, it removes the daily debate of should I or shouldn't I? And that's the secret of discipline. It's not about constant struggle. It's about eliminating the struggle through automation. As James Clear wrote in Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to act perfectly every day. It's about creating a system of habits that carry you forward, even on days when motivation is nowhere to be found. Why habits outperform motivation? Habits are automatic. Motivation requires energy. Habits save it. Once ingrained, habits run on autopilot, freeing your brain for other challenges. Habits build identity. Every repeated behavior reinforces who you believe you are. If you exercise daily, you start seeing yourself as an athlete. If you write daily, you start seeing yourself as a writer. Motivation gets you started. Habits solidify your identity. Habits create momentum. Motivation comes and goes, but momentum compounds. A habit creates a rhythm. Each small action feeds the next, creating forward motion that becomes hard to stop. The science of habit formation. Researchers studying habit formation discovered 3 key elements in the loop of behavior. Cue, trigger something that reminds you to start the habit. Routine, behavior, the action itself. Reward, the positive outcome that reinforces the habit. For example, cue, you wake up. Routine, you drink a glass of water. Reward, you feel refreshed, more awake. By repeating this loop, the brain wires the behavior into autopilot. Over time, the cue triggers a behavior without conscious decision. Starting small, the rule of too easy to fail. One of the biggest mistakes people make is starting too big. They try to run 10 kilometers on day 1, meditate for 30 minutes, or completely change their diet overnight. The weight of the change is unsustainable, and within weeks, the habit collapses. The secret to lasting discipline is to start small, so small it feels almost silly. Do one push-up. Write one sentence. Meditate for 1 minute. Why? Because the hardest part of any habit is starting. Once you begin, momentum takes over. And once the habit is installed, you can scale it. Small habits compound. What seems insignificant today becomes transformative over time. Environment, the silent shaper of discipline. Your environment is often stronger than your willpower. If you're trying to eat healthy but your pantry is filled with junk food, discipline will eventually break. If you want to focus or your phone is buzzing with notifications, you'll give in. Instead of fighting constant temptation, design your environment for success. Place a book on your pillow to remind you to read before bed. Keep your running shoes by the door. Remove distractions from your workspace. Stock your fridge with healthy options and clear out processed snacks. Make good habits obvious and easy. Make bad habits invisible and difficult. The power of habit stacking. One powerful technique for building discipline is habit stacking. This means linking a new habit to an existing one. The formula: after current habit, I will new habit. Examples: after brushing my teeth, I will meditate for 1 minute. After pouring my morning coffee, I will write down 3 things I'm grateful for. After putting my keys down, I will do 5 push-ups. Habit stacking leverages the stability of existing routines to install new behaviors with less resistance. Accountability. Turning discipline into a team effort. Discipline becomes easier when you're not walking alone. Accountability creates external pressure and support. Tell a friend your goal and ask them to check in. Join a community where others are pursuing the same habits. Use commitment contracts. For example, pledge to donate money to a cause you dislike if you don't follow through. When you feel accountable to others, skipping becomes harder. You don't want to let them down, and that pressure reinforces your discipline. Stories of discipline in action. The athlete. Elite athletes rarely rely on motivation. Many mornings, they don't feel like training, but their discipline, forged through years of habit, carries them. They tie their shoes, step onto the track, and begin. Motivation often arrives after action, not before. The author. Stephen King has written over 60 novels. His secret? Discipline. He writes 2,000 words every morning. Even on holidays, he doesn't wait for inspiration. He shows up and the words follow. The entrepreneur. Warren Buffett became one of the most successful investors not by chasing hype, but by practicing disciplined habits. Reading 500 pages a day, analyzing businesses carefully, and sticking to consistent decision-making frameworks. His success is a monument to discipline, not motivation. Practical techniques for building discipline. The 2-minute rule. When starting a new habit, reduce it to 2 minutes. Want to run? Put on your running shoes and step outside. Want to read? Open the book and read 1 page. Once you've started, the resistance melts away. Don't break the chain. Track your habits with a calendar. Every day you complete the habit, mark an X. Over time, you'll have a chain. The visual progress is motivating, and you'll strive not to break the chain. If-then planning. Anticipate obstacles by planning responses. If I feel too tired to exercise, then I will walk for 5 minutes. If I forget to meditate in the morning, then I will do it before lunch. These pre-commitments keep you on track, even when life gets messy. Micro-commitments. Instead of committing to 100 push-ups, commit to just 5. Instead of writing 10 pages, commit to 1 paragraph. Lowering the barrier increases follow-through. Celebrate small wins. Reinforce discipline by rewarding yourself for consistency. Acknowledge progress. Say out loud, I did it today. Let your brain associate the habit with satisfaction. Overcoming resistance. Even with strong habits, resistance will appear. Some days, you won't feel like doing anything. Here's how to push through. Do it anyway. Don't wait for the feeling to arrive. Start and the feeling often follows. Lower the bar. If you can't do the full habit, do the smallest version. 1 push-up is better than none. Remember your identity. Ask yourself, what would a healthy person do right now? What would a disciplined writer do? Act according to the identity you want to strengthen. Exercises for discipline. Exercise 1. Keystone habit identification. A keystone habit is one that creates ripple effects. For example, exercise not only improves health, but boosts energy, mood, and productivity. Identify one keystone habit you want to build and start small. Exercise 2, environment audit. Walk through your home or workspace. Ask, does this environment make my good habits easy and my bad habits hard? Rearrange accordingly. Exercise 3, habit stacking plan. Choose one existing habit you already do consistently, e.g., brushing teeth, making coffee. Attach one new habit to it using the formula. After habit, I will new habit. Exercise for accountability partner. Find a friend, colleague, or online group to share your habit with. Agree to check in daily or weekly. Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. All or nothing thinking. Believing you must do a habit perfectly or not at all is dangerous. Miss one day? Fine. Just don't miss 2. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. Overloading yourself. Trying to change too many habits at once leads to burnout. Focus on 1 or 2 habits until they're automatic, then expand. Relying on motivation. Don't wait to feel ready. Action generates motivation, not the other way around. Closing reflection. Discipline is freedom. That may sound paradoxical, but it's true. The person who lacks discipline is a prisoner of moods, urges, and excuses. The disciplined person is free. Free to choose action, free to pursue goals, free to shape life intentionally. Habits are the bricks, discipline is the mortar, and together they build the foundation of your future. You don't need to rely on bursts of inspiration. You don't need to wait until you feel like it. Start small. Automate through habits. Design your environment. Embrace consistency. And remember, discipline is not about perfection. It's about persistence. Day after day, your habits forge your identity. And that identity, in turn, shapes your destiny. So, don't chase motivation. Build discipline. Because when motivation fails, and it will, discipline is what carries you forward. Chapter 4. Develop resilience by embracing discomfort. Introduction. Why comfort is overrated. We live in a world designed for comfort. With the tap of a button, food arrives at our door. Entertainment streams instantly. Climate control ensures we rarely feel too hot or too cold. Life has never been more convenient. And yet, despite all this comfort, many people feel restless, unfulfilled, even fragile. The moment something goes wrong, stress spikes. When life gets hard, the instinct is to retreat, numb, or give up. Why? Because comfort does not build strength. Discomfort does. Muscles grow only after they've been stressed underweight. Skills improve only after awkward practice and mistakes. Character develops only when tested by challenge. Resilience, the ability to recover, adapt, and thrive despite difficulty, is forged in discomfort. If you want to grow, you must stop fearing discomfort and start leaning into it. What resilience really means. Resilience is often misunderstood. It doesn't mean you never feel pain, fear, or discouragement. Resilient people feel those things like everyone else. The difference is in their response. Resilience is feeling fear, but moving forward anyway. Facing failure, but extracting lessons instead of shame. Experiencing setbacks, but adapting and continuing. It's less about never falling, and more about how quickly you rise when you do. Resilience is not a trait you're born with. It's a skill trainable like a muscle. And the training ground is discomfort. The discomfort, growth connection. Discomfort is the price of admission for growth. Avoid it and you stay the same. Embrace it and you expand. Consider these truths. If you want physical strength, you must endure sore muscles. If you want social confidence, you must face awkward conversations. If you want mastery, you must tolerate the frustration of being a beginner. Discomfort is not a signal to retreat. It's a signpost that says, you are exactly where growth begins. Metaphor, the butterfly's struggle. When a butterfly is ready to emerge from its cocoon, it must struggle to push through the tiny opening. Observers sometimes feel pity and try to help, cutting the cocoon open. But this kindness is fatal. Without the struggle, the butterfly's wings remain weak, and it cannot fly. The struggle is not a barrier. It is the very process that strengthens the wings. So it is with us. Struggle is not a detour from growth. It is the path. How the brain responds to challenge. Neuroscience shows that stress in small doses actually strengthens the brain. Psychologists call this stress inoculation. Just as vaccines expose the body to small doses of a virus to build immunity, small doses of stress build mental toughness. When you face a challenge, your brain releases stress hormones. In moderation, these chemicals sharpen focus, boost learning, and strengthen neural pathways. The key is not to avoid all stress, but to gradually expand your capacity to handle it. The danger of a comfort-addicted life. Comfort feels good in the short term, but it carries hidden costs. Fragility. Avoiding challenges makes even small problems feel overwhelming. Stagnation. Comfort zones are safe but sterile. Nothing grows there. Regret. People rarely regret the discomfort they endured. They regret the growth they avoided. When life inevitably throws difficulties your way, illness, loss, rejection, failure, a comfort-addicted person crumbles. But someone who has trained resilience through discomfort can bend without breaking. Everyday practices for building resilience. Reframe failure as feedback. Failure is not a verdict, it's data. Each mistake provides information about what doesn't work. Resilient people don't ask, why did I fail, but what can I learn? Practice voluntary discomfort. Seek out small, controlled challenges to expand your capacity. Take a cold shower. Leave your phone at home for an hour. Wake up an hour earlier. Try a new skill where you'll be a beginner. These practices remind you that you can endure more than you think. Build the habit of micro-courage. Each day, do one small thing that scares you. Speak up in a meeting. Start a conversation with a stranger. Publish that blog post. Courage grows with repetition. Anchor yourself with perspective. When facing difficulty, remind yourself, this is temporary. This is training me. This will pass. These reframes turn discomfort into fuel instead of fear. Stories of resilience. Thomas Edison's 10,000 failures. Edison's path to inventing the light bulb involved thousands of failed experiments. When asked about them, he said, I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. His resilience turned frustration into foundation for breakthrough. J.K. Rowling's rejections. Before Harry Potter became a cultural phenomenon, Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers. She was a struggling single mother, living on welfare. Instead of quitting, she persisted. Her resilience turned rejection into redirection. Nelson Mandela's 27 years in prison. Mandela endured nearly 3 decades of imprisonment under harsh conditions. He emerged not bitter, but resilient, using his suffering as preparation to lead South Africa into a new era. His story shows the highest form of resilience, transforming pain into purpose. The 4 pillars of resilience. Emotional regulation. The ability to calm yourself under stress is critical. Techniques like deep breathing, mindfulness, or journaling give you space between trigger and response. Optimism and hope. Resilient people believe that setbacks are temporary and surmountable. They choose to see obstacles as challenges, not dead ends. Adaptability. Rigidity breaks under pressure. Flexibility bends and survives. The more willing you are to adjust your approach, the more resilient you become. Support systems. Resilience doesn't mean doing everything alone. Strong relationships, friends, mentors, communities, act as buffers during hardship. Training your mind to embrace discomfort. Shift your language. Instead of saying this is unbearable, say this is training me. Instead of I hate this, try this is making me stronger. Visualization under stress. Picture yourself succeeding under pressure. Athletes imagine performing well even when exhausted. By rehearsing resilience mentally, you prepare to embody it physically. Incremental exposure. If public speaking terrifies you, don't start with a stadium. Begin by speaking to a small group, then a larger one. Each step inoculates you against fear. Exercises to build resilience. Exercise 1. Discomfort audit. List situations you regularly avoid because they're uncomfortable. Choose one to face this week in a small way. Exercise 2. The Resilience Journal. Each night, write one challenge you faced and how you responded. Ask, what did I learn? How did I grow? Over time, you'll see your progress in resilience. Exercise 3. The Cold Shower Challenge. For 1 week, End your shower with 30 seconds of cold water. This voluntary discomfort trains your body and mind to tolerate stress calmly. Exercise for gratitude in difficulty. When something goes wrong, write down 3 potential benefits or lessons hidden in the difficulty. This reframes setbacks as seeds of growth. Overcoming the fear of discomfort. Name the fear. Often, fear is vague. Write down specifically what you're afraid of. Naming it makes it less overwhelming. Shrink the step. Don't leap out of your comfort zone. Step out. Small, consistent exposures build more resilience than rare, massive leaps. Focus on who you're becoming. Every act of resilience reinforces your identity as someone who can endure. Let that vision pull you through discomfort. Closing reflection. Resilience is not built in easy times. It is forged in struggle, in the furnace of discomfort, in the moments when giving up seems easier, but you choose to continue. Comfort may feel safe, but it robs you of strength. Discomfort may feel threatening, but it carries the gift of growth. Every time you face a challenge, you have a choice. Retreat into comfort or step forward into resilience. Retreat keeps you the same. Stepping forward transforms you. Remember, a diamond is just coal that endured pressure. The butterfly's wings were strengthened by struggle. And your strength, too, is born in the moments when you embrace discomfort instead of avoiding it. So the next time life feels hard, don't ask, why me? Ask instead, what is this training me for? Because the truth is this: resilience is not about avoiding storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Chapter 5, Elevate Your Environment for Success. Introduction: the hidden force that shapes you. When most people think about change, they focus on internal qualities, motivation, willpower, discipline. And yes, these matter. But there's another force, often invisible, that influences your behavior even more powerfully: your environment. Your environment is the silent architect of your habits. It whispers into your decisions without you noticing. It nudges you toward success or quietly pulls you toward failure. You are not just a product of your choices. You are also a product of your surroundings. And until you deliberately design your environment, you'll always be at its mercy. Why environment matters more than willpower. Think of willpower as a battery. You can use it to resist temptation or push yourself into action, but the battery drains quickly. Now imagine 2 people. One keeps cookies on the counter. The other keeps fruit in plain sight. Which one needs more willpower to eat healthily? The answer is obvious: the one whose environment constantly tempts them. The other doesn't even have to fight. Their surroundings do the work for them. Your environment can either support your goals or sabotage them. Discipline feels easier when the world around you aligns with your intentions. The 3 layers of environment: physical environment, your home, workspace, and immediate surroundings; social environment, the people you spend time with and the culture you're immersed in; mental environment, the information, ideas, and media you consume. Each layer has a profound impact. Together, they form the ecosystem of your life. Part 1. Mastering your physical environment. Your physical space sends constant signals to your brain. A cluttered desk makes focus harder. A messy kitchen discourages healthy eating. But a tidy, intentional environment reduces friction and invites better habits. The principle of visibility. What is visible is likely to be used. What is hidden is likely to be ignored. Want to read more? Leave a book on your pillow. Want to drink more water? Keep a bottle on your desk. Want to practice guitar? Place it on a stand in the middle of the room. On the flip side, hide temptations. Move junk food to the back of a cupboard. Store your phone in another room while working. Turn off app notifications. Small tweaks change behavior without willpower. The power of zoning. Assign each space in your home or office a clear purpose. A bed is for sleep, not scrolling. A desk is for work, not watching Netflix. A dining table is for meals, not for dumping paperwork. When you align environments with activities, your brain creates strong associations, making discipline effortless. Declutter for clarity. Clutter is not just physical, it's mental noise. Studies show messy environments increase stress and reduce focus. By decluttering, you don't just free space, you free mental bandwidth. Practical steps. Remove one item daily that no longer serves you. Keep only objects that support your current goals, not your past identity. Use the 1-minute rule. If something takes less than a minute to put away, do it immediately. Part 2. Shaping your social environment. The people around you influence your behavior more than you realize. Psychologists call this social contagion. Moods, habits, and attitudes spread through groups like viruses. If your friends smoke, you are more likely to smoke. If they exercise, you are more likely to exercise. If they complain constantly, you will too. The law of 5. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with in health, wealth, attitude, even ambition. Ask yourself, who are my 5? Do they lift me higher or pull me down? Types of people to seek out. Mentors, people further ahead who inspire you. Peers, people on the same path who hold you accountable. Supporters, friends or family who cheer you on. Types of people to limit. Energy drainers, always negative, cynical, or toxic. Excuse makers, normalize mediocrity and discourage ambition. Enablers, encourage habits you're trying to break. Designing your social circle. Join groups aligned with your goals. Fitness classes, mastermind circles, book clubs. Follow role models online whose mindset you want to adopt. Reduce time with people who sabotage your growth, not out of cruelty, but out of self-preservation. Part 3. Curating your mental environment. What you feed your mind shapes your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Just as a diet of junk food harms your body, a diet of negative content harms your outlook. The mental diet test. Imagine everything you consume, books, podcasts, news, social media, as food. Ask yourself, is this nourishing my mind? Is this strengthening my perspective? Or is this filling me with noise, fear, or distraction? The information-action ratio. Many people binge information but never apply it. They consume hours of motivational content but take no steps forward. Information is only valuable when paired with action. Positive mental fuel. Books that challenge and expand your thinking. Podcasts that educate and inspire. Conversations with people who see possibilities instead of problems. Mental detox. Unfollow accounts that drain you with negativity. Limit time spent on news cycles that create anxiety. Replace doom scrolling with intentional learning. The energy you bring to your environment. Your environment doesn't just shape you, you shape it. The energy you bring into a room affects everyone in it. Walk into a meeting with enthusiasm, and you lift the room. Walk in with bitterness, and you drag it down. Choose to be a thermostat, not a thermometer. A thermometer only reflects the environment. A thermostat sets it. By bringing positivity, gratitude, and resilience, you transform not just your surroundings, but also the people around you. Aligning environment with identity. Every habit you want to build has an environmental anchor. If your goal is health, make your kitchen a temple of nourishment. If your goal is focus, make your workspace a shrine to clarity. If your goal is creativity, surround yourself with inspiring visuals, sounds, and tools. Ask yourself, does my environment reflect the person I want to become? If the answer is no, redesign it until it does. Stories of environment in action. The Stanford Prison Experiment. In the 1970s, psychologist Philip Zimbardo created a simulated prison. College students randomly assigned as guards began acting cruelly, while prisoners became submissive. The experiment had to be stopped early. The takeaway? Environment, not personality, heavily dictates behavior. Silicon Valley startups. Entrepreneurs flock to Silicon Valley not just for resources, but for environment. Being surrounded by ambitious innovators creates a culture where bold ideas feel normal, even expected. Alcoholics Anonymous. One of the reasons AA is effective is because it creates a new social environment. Members surround themselves with peers pursuing sobriety, making relapse less likely. Exercises to elevate your environment. Exercise 1. The physical reset. Walk through your home or office. Ask, does this space make my desired habits easy? What one change could I make right now to reduce friction? Exercise 2. The social inventory. Write down the 5 people you spend the most time with. Next to each, write, do they energize me or drain me? How aligned are they with the life I want? Adjust accordingly. Exercise 3. The media audit. For 1 week, track every hour of media consumption. Rate each on a scale from -2 draining to +2 inspiring. Replace the negative sources with positive ones. Exercise for energy contribution. At the end of each day, reflect, did I lift the energy of my environment or lower it? Tomorrow, what can I do to set the tone? Common pitfalls and how to avoid them. Relying on willpower alone. If your environment is full of triggers, even the strongest discipline will crumble. Adjust your surroundings before blaming your willpower. Trying to change everything overnight. Start small. 1 room, 1 friendship, 1 media habit. Build gradually. Confusing comfort with support. Sometimes we mistake familiarity for support. Just because you've always been around certain people doesn't mean they're helping you grow. Ignoring your own role. You are not just shaped by environment, you shape it. Don't wait passively. Become the architect of your world. Closing reflection. Your environment is not neutral. Every object, every person, every piece of information around you is either pulling you forward or holding you back. If you want to improve each day, stop relying solely on willpower. Build environments that make the right choice the easy choice. Surround yourself with people who expect more from you, not less. Feed your mind with ideas that challenge and uplift, not poison it with negativity. And above all, remember, you are both a product of your environment and a producer of it. By elevating the spaces you inhabit, the people you connect with, and the energy you bring, you create conditions where success becomes natural. Don't just build better habits. Build a better world around you, one that makes your best self inevitable. Because when your environment rises, you rise with it. Chapter 6. Prioritize energy management over time management. Introduction. The hidden limiter of your potential. How many times have you said, I just need more time? We blame lack of time for our unfulfilled goals. The book unwritten, the business ideas shelved, the exercise skipped. Time becomes the scapegoat. But here's the truth. You don't need more hours. You need more energy. Time is fixed. Every person on earth has the same 24 hours. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle is not time management, but energy management. Without energy, even free time becomes wasted. But with abundant energy, you can accomplish more in 2 focused hours than most people do in 10 distracted ones. If time is the stage, energy is the actor. Without the actor's vitality, the stage remains empty. Why time management fails without energy management. Time management systems promise productivity. Calendars, planners, scheduling apps. And yes, they help. But none of them matter if you show up to the task exhausted, distracted, or drained. Imagine 2 scenarios. Scenario A. You schedule 2 hours for creative writing at night, but you're mentally depleted from the day. You stare at the screen, barely produce a paragraph, and leave frustrated. Scenario B. You schedule just 45 minutes in the morning when you're fresh and energized. In less than an hour, you write pages with clarity. Same person, same skill, different energy. It's not how many hours you schedule. It's how much energy you bring into them. The 4 dimensions of energy. Energy is not just physical stamina. It's multidimensional. To manage it well, you must understand its 4 layers. Physical energy, your body's fuel, influenced by sleep, nutrition, exercise, and rest. Emotional energy, your mood, optimism, and resilience in the face of stress. Mental energy, your ability to focus, think clearly, and make decisions. Spiritual energy, your sense of purpose, values, and alignment with what truly matters. Neglect one, and the others weaken. Optimize them all, and you unlock extraordinary performance. The energy cycle, peaks, valleys, and recovery. Your energy is not constant throughout the day. It rises, dips, and renews in cycles. The most productive people work with their natural rhythms instead of against them. Morning, the peak. Most people have their sharpest focus and highest energy within a few hours of waking, especially after quality sleep and hydration. This is a prime time for deep, demanding work. Afternoon, the valley. Energy dips in the early to mid-afternoon, often after lunch. This is not the time for high-stakes creativity. Instead, it's best for lighter tasks, emails, organizing routine calls. Evening, the second wind, or recovery. Some experience a smaller surge of energy in the evening. Others find this time best used for winding down and recovery. Either way, it's crucial not to overextend. Evening is preparation for tomorrow's energy. The key, align tasks with your energy, not just your schedule. Physical energy, the foundation. 1. Sleep, the non-negotiable. Nothing restores energy more than quality sleep. Yet in modern culture, sleep is often sacrificed as a badge of productivity. In reality, sleep deprivation is the fastest way to destroy performance, mood, and health. Strategies for better sleep. Keep consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. Avoid screens and heavy meals close to bedtime. Create a cool, dark, quiet environment. Treat sleep as sacred, not optional. 2. Nutrition. Food as fuel. Food is not just calories. It's information for your cells. Poor food choices lead to spikes and crashes in energy. Guidelines. Favor whole, unprocessed foods. Balance meals with protein, complex carbs, and healthy fats. Stay hydrated. Even mild dehydration saps energy and focus. Reduce excessive sugar and caffeine that create roller coaster crashes. 3. Movement. Energy creates energy. Paradoxically, expending energy through exercise produces more energy. Movement increases circulation, oxygenation, and endorphins, fueling focus and mood. You don't need hours in the gym. Even 10 to 15 minutes of stretching, walking, or bodyweight exercise can reset energy. 4. Rest and recovery. Physical energy thrives on cycles of effort and rest. Push hard, then recover. Without recovery, you burn out. Without effort, you stagnate. The magic lies in rhythm. Emotional energy, the mood multiplier. Your emotional state colors everything. When you feel grateful, optimistic, and calm, even tough tasks feel lighter. But when you're stressed, anxious, or angry, even simple tasks feel heavy. 1. Emotional awareness. Resilient people don't deny emotions. They notice and manage them. Journaling, mindfulness, and honest conversations help identify patterns. 2. Positive rituals. Small actions can quickly shift emotional energy. Practicing gratitude daily. Listening to uplifting music. Spending time in nature. Acts of kindness toward others. 3. Emotional boundaries. Guard against energy drains. Toxic relationships. Endless complaints. Unnecessary drama. Learn to say no. Protecting emotional energy is as important as protecting time. Mental energy, the focus factor. Mental energy is your brain's ability to concentrate. In an age of constant distraction, protecting this is crucial. 1. Single tasking over multitasking. Multitasking scatters energy. Focus on one task, and you conserve mental bandwidth. 2. Decision fatigue. Every decision costs energy. Reduce unnecessary choices by creating routines. Same breakfast, pre-planned outfits, structured work blocks. Save decision power for what matters. 3. Deep work windows. Schedule blocks of uninterrupted time for cognitively demanding tasks. Protect these fiercely. Use techniques like Pomodoro, 25 minutes focus, 5 minutes break, or 90-minute ultradian cycles. 4. Mental recovery. Your brain needs breaks. Step outside. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Just as muscles need rest between sets, your mind needs intervals of renewal. Spiritual energy, the purpose engine. Purpose is the deepest fuel. When your actions align with your values, energy flows naturally. But when you're working only for external validation or in conflict with your values, exhaustion sets in. 1. Clarify your why. Ask, why am I doing this? Does it matter to me or only to others? A strong why turns discipline into devotion. 2. Align work with values. Whenever possible, connect daily actions with what you truly value. Even mundane tasks gain energy when tied to purpose. 3. Contribution and service. Giving to others through mentoring, kindness, or purposeful work generates profound energy. Service turns struggle into significance. Practical tools for managing energy. Energy log. For 1 week, track your energy every 2 to 3 hours. Notice patterns. Identify when you feel most alive and when you slump. Use this data to redesign your schedule. Task energy matching. Divide tasks into categories: high focus, medium focus, low focus. Assign them to times of peak, mid, and low energy. Energy rituals. Develop quick resets you can use anytime. 2 minutes of deep breathing, a short walk, a gratitude note, drinking water, weekly energy audit. Ask, what activities give me energy? What activities drain it? How can I increase the first and reduce the second? Stories of energy over time. The athlete's recovery secret. Elite athletes know performance is not just training but recovery. They schedule naps, massages, and meditation to manage energy. Their success comes not from endless grind, but from balance cycles. The CEO's morning ritual. Many top executives protect mornings for deep work. They understand that their highest energy belongs to their highest priorities, not email or trivial meetings. The burnout epidemic. Countless professionals manage time, but not energy. They fill calendars to the brim, run on caffeine, and push through fatigue. Eventually, their bodies force them to stop. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It's a failure of energy management. Common pitfalls in energy management. Ignoring sleep. Sacrificing sleep to gain time is an illusion. You lose productivity, creativity, and health. Chasing time hacks instead of energy habits. No app can fix exhaustion. Start with energy foundations. Sleep, nutrition, movement. Treating rest as lazy. Rest is not the absence of work. It is part of work. Without it, your efforts collapse. Forgetting purpose. Even perfect sleep and nutrition can't sustain you if your work feels meaningless. Purpose fuels persistence. Exercises to implement. Exercise 1. The energy calendar. Instead of planning only by hours, color code your calendar by energy zones. Green peak, yellow moderate, red low. Match tasks accordingly. Exercise 2. The power hour. Dedicate the first hour of your day to your most important task. Protect it from distractions. Ride the morning peak. Exercise 3. The 90-20 rule. Work in 90-minute focus blocks. Then take 20 minutes for renewal. This follows natural ultradian rhythms. Exercise 4. Digital sunset. 1 hour before bed. Shut off devices. This protects sleep, the foundation of tomorrow's energy. Chapter 7. Commit to lifelong learning and evolution. Introduction. Why growth has no finish line. Imagine climbing a mountain. You struggle upward, thinking the summit is near. Finally, you crest a ridge, only to discover another peak ahead, taller than the last. This is the journey of self-improvement. There is no final summit. There is always another skill to master, another lesson to learn, another layer of yourself to uncover. The moment you decide you've arrived, you begin to stagnate. Growth is not a destination. Growth is a way of traveling. That is why the most successful, fulfilled people share one habit: lifelong learning. What lifelong learning really means. Lifelong learning is more than formal education or degrees. It is a mindset, a daily commitment to curiosity, openness, and adaptation. It means you see yourself as a student of life, regardless of age or stage. It means you're willing to be a beginner again and again. It means you value growth over comfort, questions over certainty. The world changes fast. Technology evolves, industries transform, cultural norms shift. If you stop learning, you stop evolving. If you keep learning, you stay relevant, capable, and alive. The science of continuous learning. Neuroscience has discovered a powerful truth. The brain is plastic. It reshapes itself throughout life, creating new connections and strengthening old ones. This is called neuroplasticity. For decades, scientists believed the brain became fixed in adulthood. Now we know it remains adaptable into old age, but only if challenged. Learning is the workout that keeps the brain strong. Studies show people who keep learning maintain sharper memory, delay cognitive decline, experience greater life satisfaction, show higher adaptability to change. Your brain, like your muscles, grows stronger with use and weaker with neglect. The growth versus fixed mindset. Psychologist Carol Dweck's research identifies two approaches to learning. Fixed mindset believes intelligence and abilities are static, avoids challenges, fears mistakes, seeks validation. Growth mindset. Believes abilities can develop through effort and practice. Embraces challenges. Learns from mistakes. Seeks progress. Lifelong learners operate with a growth mindset. They don't ask, "Am I smart enough?" They ask, "How can I get smarter?" They don't say, "I can't do this." They say, "I can't do this yet." The rewards of lifelong learning. 1. Adaptability. In a world of constant change, learning new skills keeps you flexible. The job you have today may not exist in 10 years. The ability to learn ensures you'll thrive in tomorrow's world. 2. Confidence. Knowledge builds competence, and competence builds confidence. When you prove you can learn, you trust yourself to handle the unknown. 3. Creativity. Exposure to new ideas creates unexpected connections. Many breakthroughs come not from expertise in one area, but from combining insights across disciplines. 4. Fulfillment. Learning is inherently rewarding. Mastering a skill, understanding a concept, or expanding perspective produces joy and meaning. The barriers to lifelong learning. Ego. Believing you already know enough. Fear of failure. Avoiding situations where you might look foolish. Busyness. Claiming there's no time to learn. Comfort. Preferring the ease of routine over the challenge of growth. Each barrier is real, but each is also a choice. Lifelong learners choose humility, courage, priorities, and curiosity over those obstacles. Principles of lifelong learning. 1. Be curious, not certain. Certainty closes doors. Curiosity opens them. Instead of thinking, "I already know," ask, "What else could I learn?" 2. Embrace beginner's mind. Approach new fields like a novice, free from ego. Be willing to ask stupid questions. Remember, every expert was once a beginner. 3. Learn by doing. Knowledge without action fades. Apply what you learn. Experiment. Make mistakes. Reflect. 4. Diversify inputs. Don't just learn in your comfort zone. Read outside your field. Talk to people with different perspectives. Cross-pollination fuels innovation. 5. Teach to learn. When you explain something to others, your own understanding deepens. Teaching cements learning. Everyday practices for continuous learning. 1. Read daily. Books are concentrated wisdom. Even 10 minutes a day compounds into dozens of books a year. Choose a mix. Self-development, biographies, history, science, fiction. 2. Audio learning. Turn commutes or chores into drive time university with podcasts and audiobooks. 3. Online courses. The internet has democratized education. Platforms like Coursera, edX, Udemy, and Khan Academy offer world-class learning at your fingertips. 4. Skill challenges. Pick a skill: coding, cooking, painting, public speaking. Commit to practicing for 30 days. Track progress. 5. Reflection. Learning isn't just intake. It's also processing. Journaling or talking through what you've learned solidifies it. 6. Mentorship. Seek mentors and also mentor others. You'll learn from both roles. Stories of lifelong learners. Leonardo da Vinci. Da Vinci was not just an artist. He was an engineer, scientist, anatomist, and inventor. His relentless curiosity made him one of history's greatest polymaths. Benjamin Franklin. Franklin created a plan for self-improvement, dedicating time to reading, experiments, and reflection. He taught himself multiple disciplines, from diplomacy to electricity. Oprah Winfrey. Oprah attributes much of her success to a lifelong commitment to reading and learning. Her book club and interviews became platforms for continuous growth. Modern example, Satya Nadella. Microsoft CEO turned the company around by fostering a learn-it-all culture instead of a know-it-all culture. That shift of mindset revitalized one of the world's biggest corporations. Exercises for building a lifelong learning habit. Exercise 1, the learning list. Write down 5 subjects or skills you've always wanted to explore. Choose one to begin this month. Exercise 2, the 30-day skill sprint. Pick one small skill and practice it daily for 30 days. At the end, reflect on what improved and how you felt. Exercise 3, the cross-discipline challenge. Read a book or take a course in a field completely unrelated to your work. Note what connections you discover with your main area of expertise. Exercise 4. Teach back. After learning something new, explain it to a friend or write a summary. Teaching deepens retention. Exercise 5. Weekly reflection. Every Sunday, ask, what did I learn this week? How did I grow? How can I apply it next week? The role of humility in learning. Arrogance is the enemy of growth. The moment you think you know it all, you stop learning. True learners stay humble. They see everyone as a teacher, from professors to children, from mentors to strangers. Humility doesn't mean diminishing yourself. It means staying open, curious, and teachable. The connection between learning and identity. Every time you learn, you shape who you are becoming. If you read daily, you start to see yourself as a reader. If you practice art, you become an artist. If you study leadership, you grow into a leader. Your identity evolves with your learning. That's why lifelong learning is not just about knowledge. It's about becoming. Avoiding the trap of information overload. There's a danger in the modern age. Consuming endlessly without applying. It feels productive but creates no change. Remember, learning is not measured by what you know, but by what you do with what you know. To avoid overload, limit passive consumption. Apply something immediately. Reflect and iterate. Knowledge is potential. Action is power. Closing reflection, the never-ending journey. Lifelong learning is not a task to finish, but a path to walk. It is a practice of staying open, curious, and willing to evolve. The mountain of growth has no final summit, but that is what makes it beautiful. With each climb, you see new horizons. With each step, you expand not just your skills, but yourself. Commit to learning every day, not because you are lacking, but because you are limitless. Not because you must, but because you can. In the end, the most valuable skill of all is the ability to keep learning. Because if you can learn, you can adapt. If you can adapt, you can evolve. And if you can evolve, there is no limit to who you can become. So stay curious, stay humble, stay learning. That is how you improve not just a day, but for a lifetime. Chapter 8. Unlock the power of consistency for lasting change. Introduction. Why most people quit too soon. We live in an age obsessed with speed, instant results, overnight transformations, quick hacks. People want six-pack abs in 6 weeks, a profitable business in 30 days, fluency in a new language in a month. But here's the reality. Most meaningful achievements require far longer. Not days, not weeks, often years. That's why so many fail. Not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lack consistency. Consistency is not glamorous. It doesn't make headlines, but it is the quiet force behind every remarkable achievement. The authors, the athletes, the leaders you admire, their secret is not one massive burst of effort. Their secret is showing up day after day when no one is watching. Consistency versus intensity. Many confuse intensity with effectiveness. They go all in for a short time, extreme diets, brutal workouts, marathon work sessions. But then they burn out, quit, and return to old habits. Consistency is different. It's not about doing a lot once. It's about doing a little often. Think of brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 3 hours once a month. You brush for 2 minutes twice a day. That small consistency keeps your teeth healthy for a lifetime. The same principle applies everywhere. It's not the giant effort that changes your life. It's the small actions you sustain. Why consistency works. The compound effect. Consistency leverages a compound effect. Small improvements, repeated daily, multiply over time. If you improve just 1% each day, after a year you are not 365% better. You are nearly 38 times better. That's the power of compounding. On the flip side, negative habits compound too. Eating one donut doesn't matter. Eating one donut every day for years does. Consistency is a bridge between effort and exponential growth. The psychology of consistency. Psychologists have studied why consistency works. Here are 3 key mechanisms. Identity reinforcement. Every consistent action strengthens identity. If you write daily, you start to see yourself as a writer. If you exercise daily, you become an active person. Identity fuels habit, and habit fuels identity. Reduce decision fatigue. Consistency turns action into routine. You no longer ask, should I do this today? You simply do it. The mental struggle disappears. Momentum. Starting is hardest, but once consistent, momentum carries you. The action becomes easier with time, like pushing a flywheel that spins faster with each push. The myths that kill consistency. Myth 1, you need to be perfect. Truth, you only need to be persistent. Missing a day doesn't ruin progress. Quitting does. Myth 2, you need massive results quickly. Truth, small, steady results add up. Be patient. Myth 3, you need constant motivation. Truth, motivation is unreliable. Consistency is about discipline, not moods. Myth 4, consistency means rigidity. Truth, consistency allows flexibility. Even small versions of a habit keep the chain alive. Building consistency step by step. 1. Start small, really small. If you want to start running, don't begin with 5 miles a day. Start with 5 minutes of jogging. If you want to meditate, start with 2 minutes. Make it so small you cannot fail. 2. Anchor habits to existing routines. Attach a new habit to something you already do. Example, after brushing your teeth, do 10 push-ups. After making coffee, read 1 page. This habit stacking makes consistency automatic. 3. Track progress. What gets measured gets reinforced. Use a journal, calendar, or app to check off habits daily. Watching your streak grow fuels momentum. 4. Focus on systems, not goals. Goals are outcomes. Systems are processes. Instead of, I want to lose 20 pounds, build a system of exercising daily and eating mindfully. Systems create consistency. 5. Use the 2-minute rule. When resistance is high, commit to doing just 2 minutes. 2 minutes of writing. 2 minutes of exercise. 2 minutes of meditation. Often, once you start, you'll continue. But even if not, you kept the habit alive. 6. Celebrate small wins. Reward yourself for consistency. Even a simple well done or ticking a box on a calendar conditions your brain to repeat the behavior. Consistency in different areas of life. 1. Health. Drinking water first thing every morning. Daily walks, even just 10 minutes. Preparing 1 healthy meal each day. 2. Personal growth. Reading 10 pages daily. Journaling 1 sentence of gratitude. Practicing a skill for 15 minutes. 3. Work and productivity. Writing down 3 priorities every morning. Shutting down email notifications for 1 focus block. Tidying your desk at the end of each day. 4. Relationships. Sending a message of appreciation to someone daily. Spending 5 distraction-free minutes listening to a loved one. Saying, thank you sincerely every day. Real stories of consistency. Jerry Seinfeld's Red X calendar. Comedian Jerry Seinfeld credits his success to writing jokes daily. He used a wall calendar and put a red X on each day he wrote. His rule, don't break the chain. That chain of consistency built a legendary career. James Clear's 1% rule. Author James Clear popularized the idea of small improvements. He explains how focusing on consistent, tiny changes led to his best-selling book and millions of readers worldwide. Athletes. Olympic athletes don't train intensely once in a while. They train consistently, often with mundane drills, repeated year after year. Mastery is built through boring consistency. The emotions of consistency. Consistency is not about excitement. It's often boring. That's why many quit. They crave novelty. But boredom is a sign of mastery. If you can stay consistent when it feels dull, you separate yourself from those who quit. Consistency also builds confidence. Each day you keep a promise to yourself. You prove you are reliable. Over time, you stop doubting yourself. You trust your own word. That trust is priceless. Obstacles to consistency. Perfectionism, waiting for the perfect time or conditions. All or nothing thinking, believing 1 missed day erases progress. Lack of clarity, vague goals that aren't measurable. Overcommitment, starting too big, leading to burnout. Distractions, letting your environment sabotage your habits. Overcoming these requires humility. Start small. Be patient. Forgive mistakes. Stay focused. Exercises to build consistency. Exercise 1, the 30-day chain. Pick one small habit. Commit to 30 days without breaking the chain. Track with a calendar. Exercise 2, the minimum standard. Decide on a bare minimum version of a habit. Example, 1 push-up, 1 sentence, 1 page. Even on bad days, do at least a minimum. Exercise 3, weekly review. Each week, reflect. Did I stay consistent? What worked? What derailed me? Adjust for next week. Exercise 4, habit stacking. Write 3, after I do X, I will do Y statements. Example, after I pour coffee, I will write 1 sentence. After I brush teeth, I will stretch. Exercise 5, accountability partner. Find a friend or group. Share your consistency goal. Report progress daily or weekly. Accountability multiplies success. The long-term view. Consistency feels slow at first. Results may not show. That's why patience is critical. Seeds don't sprout overnight, but if watered daily, they eventually grow into trees. Trust the process. Results are the lagging indicators of consistency. The gym session today doesn't change your body immediately, but repeated sessions over months transform you. The same is true for finances, skills, relationships, and personal growth. Stay the course. Common pitfalls. Chasing perfection instead of progress. It's better to be 80% consistent for years than 100% consistent for a week. Measuring too soon. Don't quit because results aren't visible in a month. Real change compounds invisibly before it appears. Comparing to others. Focus on your path. Consistency is personal. Comparison kills momentum. Relying only on motivation. Discipline is greater than mood. Commit regardless of how you feel. Closing reflection. Consistency is freedom. Consistency may sound restrictive, doing the same thing every day. But in truth, consistency is freedom. When you are consistent, you no longer rely on fleeting motivation. You trust yourself to follow through. You build momentum that carries you forward. You create results others see as miraculous, though they are simply the product of persistence. In the end, greatness is not built in grand gestures. It is built in daily choices, repeated with patience and faith. So ask yourself, what's one small action I can commit to daily? Start there. Stay consistent. Because consistency is not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do always. And what you do always becomes who you are. Chapter 9. Cultivate patience and trust the process. Introduction. A culture of instant gratification. We live in a world that worships speed. 2-day shipping feels too slow. We scroll through 10-second clips because full videos are too long. Apps are designed to deliver likes and notifications instantly. This culture of immediacy has conditioned us to expect quick results in everything: fitness, finances, relationships, careers, personal growth. And when the results don't appear right away, frustration creeps in. Many give up before progress has a chance to reveal itself. But here's the truth. Anything worth building takes time. Seeds don't become trees overnight. Muscles don't grow after one workout. Skills aren't mastered in a week. Trust and love aren't built in a day. Patience is the rare and powerful ability to keep showing up, even when the rewards are invisible. It's not passive waiting. It's active persistence. It's faith in the unseen. Redefining patience. Active, not passive. Most people misunderstand patience. They imagine it as sitting back, arms crossed, waiting for life to deliver. But that is resignation, not patience. True patience is engaged persistence. It means taking consistent action, enduring discomfort without giving up, believing effort matters even when results are delayed. Patience is not doing nothing. It is doing the right thing long enough for it to work. Why patience matters in personal growth. 1. Real change is slow. Habits take time to form. Identities take time to shift. Growth requires repetition. Without patience, you abandon the journey before transformation takes root. 2. Patience prevents burnout. When you expect instant results, you push unsustainably hard. Patience allows steady, balanced effort, the kind that lasts. 3. Patience creates resilience. Delays and setbacks are inevitable. Impatient people see them as failures. Patient people see them as steps in the process. 4. Patience increases joy. When you're patient, you enjoy the journey instead of obsessing over the destination. Every small step becomes meaningful. The enemy, instant gratification. The human brain is wired for reward. Dopamine, the neurotransmitter of pleasure, spikes when we anticipate a quick win. That's why social media, fast food, and impulsive purchases feel so good in the moment. But the same system makes long-term growth difficult. Reading a book for 20 minutes doesn't flood the brain with dopamine. Saving money feels less rewarding than spending it now. Eating vegetables doesn't taste as exciting as dessert. Patience requires training your brain to delay gratification, to value the bigger, later reward over the smaller, immediate one. The marshmallow test, a classic lesson. In the 1970s, psychologist Walter Mischel conducted the famous marshmallow test. Children were offered one marshmallow immediately, or two if they waited 15 minutes. Follow-up studies show that children who delayed gratification went on to better life outcomes, higher academic achievement, healthier relationships, greater career success. Why? Because they learned patience. They trusted the process of waiting for greater rewards. Adults face the same test every day. Do you want comfort now or growth later? Trusting the process, the invisible growth phase. Improvement often feels invisible at first. This frustrates people. But invisibility doesn't mean inactivity. Growth is happening beneath the surface. Think of bamboo. After planting, nothing seems to grow for years. Underground, roots are spreading, strengthening, preparing. Then suddenly, in a matter of weeks, bamboo shoots up several feet. Your growth works the same way. Early effort lays invisible foundations. Only later do results appear. Patience allows you to trust this hidden phase. Stories of patience in action. 1. Thomas Edison. Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. He famously said, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His patience with the process turned failure into progress. 2. J.K. Rowling. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, Rowling faced 12 publisher rejections. She kept rewriting, kept submitting. Patience turned rejection into literary history. 3. Farmers and seasons. Farmers know they cannot rush crops. They plant, water, and wait. They trust seasons. If they dug up seeds daily to check growth, they'd ruin the harvest. Life works the same way. Nurture, wait, harvest. The link between patience and identity. Patience is not just a skill. It's an identity shift. Impatient identity. If I don't see results soon, I'm failing.